Welcome to another exciting episode of the Million Dollar Peddlers. I'm Paper Guy.
And I'm Mr. Magazine.
Today we're going to talk about something that is probably one of the most important things that you're doing in your business. That's getting knowledge.
Okay.
And I was thinking about this somewhat, and I don't know how much what I'm going to say helps you, Mr. Magazine. And by that I mean because you and I pick up deals in completely different ways generally.
Okay.
You tend to have people bring them to you.
Mm-hmm.
And how often is the person that brings something to you truly doesn't know what something is?
Oh, very rarely. They act like they don't because they have no price in mind what they want. But then when I blurt out an offer, 9 out of 10 times, well, that's it.
And if they've got 20 items there and you blurt out an offer that to them is far too low, what is their first reaction usually? Probably to pick one of those items out and go, but this is...
this goes for $50. And no, someone was asking 50, but it didn't sell for 50.
Or they'll come in and they'll give you the story and the provenance behind it. They'll tell you what the item is. They'll say, this is a whatever, this was used for, this was,
Right.
and they give you, they do a lot of the research for you to sell to you because you've got the fixed location.
Right. Yeah.
And then all you need to do, and I say all, certainly it's, I'm not trying to downplay it, but what you need to do is verify what they're saying is true and that their prices are accurate.
Right.
Which you then go on eBay, and 9 times out of 10, they're probably telling you that they saw it on eBay.
Yeah.
So,
Unless it's a Funko. Then they go on the Funko site.
of course, that's higher price.
Exactly.
So knowledge is important to you, but it's less important than it is to me. And by that I mean because I'm out at the flea market where the guy's just got a box of magazines and he wants $1 a piece.
Right.
Nobody really comes into your store with a box of 25 magazines and says, pick out the ones you want for $1 a piece. I mean, they don't do that.
No.
You take a look there and okay, yeah, either I can make money or I can't make money.
Right.
So it is a little bit different for you. But the reason why I was thinking of this is it just amazes me how much every week that I learn from various spots, whether it's going on a heritage auction. I was completely unaware, and what got me mentioning this is I was completely unaware that American Greetings had put out a small hardcover book in 1968 or 69 with Robert Crumb on it. Had done it, and they actually were auctioning off one of those books, missing a page, and it was going for hundreds of dollars.
Wow.
And I would have no idea whatsoever.
Yeah.
Now at least I know the style of the book, and I'm going to keep my eyes open for it because you never know if you might find that. And so on. That's really how you end up building your business. And again, but even that there, you've got a different set of knowledge than I have because you've been dealing with things that I don't deal with, like the newer cards. I know nothing about them whatsoever. You're up on top of that, and I know you're in some, or at least we're in some fantasy sports leagues and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, still in. Yeah.
And you know who's had good games, who hasn't had good games. And that's where the knowledge, especially during football season, works out for you.
Sure.
Whoever has had 2 straight 180-yard games,
Yeah.
I got to get these cards on now.
Oh, for sure.
Because you have them sitting away somewhere or other. And basketball is probably the same way, correct?
Oh, definitely, yeah.
Now, how about baseball?
Baseball's it's
Just because it's so long of a season?
A lot of games, so yeah.
I mean, if somebody hits a home run in back-to-back games, it doesn't really excite anybody.
Usually, if a rookie's hot for even a short period of time, he'll be trending for a while, because they're gonna think he's gonna get better and better and keep investing in him.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I guess you do have a completely different knowledge base than I have. In that I don't follow any of that because I don't have need to do that. But you've got people coming in and selling you cards. You've got piles of cards. And you know enough to pull those out as long as you're somewhat sorted, and that ends up helping you out as well on that. So I guess the point is knowledge is one of the most important things that you can have for your business. I don't think there's any doubt at all about it, but you'd be very, very surprised where you can pick the knowledge up at. Even just reading history books, reading things like that. I pulled a book out that from a collection that I'm reading now about Charles Schultz, and I was completely unaware that in 1947 or 48, his first major magazine cartoon was published in there. I didn't know that. So certainly now when I start picking up posts from that era, I know enough now to kind of start doing some research on it and saying, okay, because again, if somebody has a big pile of posts and goes $20 for the whole pile, I'm buying the whole pile.
Yeah,
but if they've got them out there $5 a piece, that's where my research will have paid off, and I'll be like, oh, that's the one with the Charles Schultz, or that's the one with the little Lulu, or that's the one with, and you pick out the one good one and leave the rest of them.
Sure.
I got some knowledge that I think I broke my parole. But definitely that does help you some. But one of the biggest things I would suggest is always keeping your eyes and ears open, because you just absolutely never know what you might find out there and how other things that you've learned will help you in the hobby, buying and selling things. And the more that you know, the easier it is to sell stuff. And I know we've talked about that before, and I don't mean any disrespect to any of your employees, but we had talked before that they wouldn't be particularly good at listing 1898 Scribner's magazines.
No.
Because they don't know any of the names of the authors. They don't know any of the names they don't know the historical importance of any of the stuff.
They're younger too. A lot of them are in their 20s, and they don't even know, Robin Williams or Mr. T, which is kind of scary because we do sell a lot of that type of 80s era, celebrity stuff.
Right.
Sure.
Yeah. Yep.
So a lot of times I have to write on the post-it just in case they don't know.
Wow.
Because you could lose some money, or you may not be able to sell a magazine if someone famous is on the cover and they're not acknowledging it.
Although I guess it's no different than when we started and the old timers were like, "Hey, that's Mammy Van Doren, hey," and we're like, "Yeah, sure it is." We knew enough about Frank Sinatra and the big names like that, but we didn't know the second tier. I didn't know who the Lennon sisters were, and I didn't know who Mitzi Gaynor and all these various people are. And those are just all things that you learn over time. And now if I brought to you a pile of 20 1950s magazines and I had them open to the table of contents and I said, you can pick two names out of this table of contents, you probably would pick 80% of the time the same two names that I would.
Sure.
Because they would be the two that would be most selling, but they wouldn't always be the most known. I mean, I'm going to give you a quick pop quiz.
Okay.
You can choose two of these three. Bing Crosby, Yvonne DiCarlo, and Bob Hope.
Hope and DiCarlo.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Whereas I know certainly starting off, I would have done Bing Crosby and Bob Hope, no doubt at all about it. And now it's like, oh no, Yvonne DiCarlo is a lot better. And even just your shaking your head was like, oh yeah.
I think even if you're selling records, I would go with those two names.
Even on a Bing Crosby record.
Exactly.
Do hit the like button if you could, and we will see you next video.
Take care. Bye-bye.